masters. Well, continuing with our gin inspired menu options, we're going to prepare a dessert. We're going to have a panna cotta with gin and honey roasted strawberries. Now we need to prepare the panna cotta first because it needs to set. So to do that we're going to use gelatin. So I've got a little dish of cold water there, and I've got 1.5 sheets of gelatin, titanium strength. I've had to cut it up to fit in this dish, and we're just going to let that gelatin sit in there and soak for 5 minutes. Then you're going to need some gin. I've got my George Bishop here. I've got 30 ml of that. 300 ml of buttermilk, 300 ml of single cream. You're going to want about 85 ml of runny honey, and if you've got a vanilla pod, which I have somewhere and I can't find them, we'll be putting a vanilla pod in it. I'm just going to give it a dash of vanilla essence. So let's get making the panna cotta. I said to you we want 85 ml of honey. Now as it happens, 1 cup, is that 1 cup? Sorry, half a cup, no, a third of a cup even, can't read properly. Third of a cup is 80 ml. So I'm just going to use that to measure it. Okay, so I'm just going to let that drain out of there. It says try not to get it to fall in. And then, like I say, we want to add a vanilla pod. Now if you were doing a vanilla pod, split it, scrape the seeds out and put the whole lot in. I'm just going to add a little bit of vanilla essence. Just give that honey a bit of a scrape out. Or give that a third of a cup a scrape out rather. Now into that, like I say, we want 300 ml of buttermilk. And then we're going to do the same with that single cream. So panna cotta, a nice little Italian dessert. And like I say, we're going to flavour it with gin. Now that's that 300 ml of gin gone into the panna cotta. We'll be using another 300 ml later for the gin and honey roasted strawberries. So I'm just going to get that single cream in there. So now I'm just going to warm all this up together and allow it, or allow all that honey to dissolve into it. And then once that's happened, we're going to take it off the heat, and we want it to cool down sufficiently that we can add that gelatin, and the gelatin will melt, but obviously we don't want it too hot. That honey is nicely dissolved, so at this point I'm going to take it out of my gelatin and just squeeze all the water out, and then there should be enough heat still in that pan to dissolve, check I ain't left any in there, to dissolve that gelatin up. So I'm just going to stir that to get that gelatin all mixed in, and then we're going to let it cool so that I can then pour it into them serving dishes. Now quantity here is enough to make 3. I'm going to split it into 2 larger ones, and then they're going to go in the fridge and we chill them for at least 3 hours. If they set before then they're ready, but I'm preparing this well in advance, so this will have plenty of chilling time. And then, like I say, we're going to finish it off, decorate it with our gin and honey roasted strawberries. So you're going to need some more honey, you're going to need some more gin, and you're going to need some strawberries. But anyway, we'll get this chilling. So it's now the next day. In fact, it's 6 o'clock the next evening. So time to finish off our little panna cotta with gin and honey roasted strawberries. And so to start the evening, we have here, I say classic, this is a James Bond martini, but this isn't the classic James Bond martini, this is the Vesper martini. Very nice. So anyway, back to the panna cotta. Here I've got about 250 grams of strawberries that I've de-hulled. Got a bit of a leaf on that one. I cut them in half simply because it was the easiest way of getting the holes out the middle. Now, now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of honey. This is going to be a right sticky mess. I've got my oven on at about 220, and we are going to roast these for about 15 to 20 minutes, basically until they're all sort of nice and soft. And also remember, we've got the extra gin, 30 mils of gin, which of course by the time this has been in the oven and heated up, there won't be any alcohol left in that. But it's the gin flavour we really want. There's enough gin in that. That's effectively 3, when I say shots, I mean 3 parts, or 3 shots of gin, 1 shot of vodka, and then because I haven't actually got the, I think it's Lilibet or something, it's a close substitute is dry vermouth, so half a shot of that, and then a strip of lemon peel, and of course it's shaken, not stirred. So anyway, that now is just going to go as it is into the oven. Now if you add your vanilla pod, remember we said about putting a vanilla pod into the panna cotta mix, you can add that to that now and cook that with it. I'm not going to bother to add any vanilla essence. Okay, so that is now just going to pop in the oven, and like I say, we're going to roast that for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then we'll let it cool slightly so that we can then add it to our panna cotta. And don't worry, I made a little mini one for tasting. So, cheers, Miss Money Penny. Nicely chilled panna cotta, and here's our slightly cooled gin and honey roasted strawberries. So just going to add a little bit to them, and then like I said, I made a little taster, so I'm just going to spoon that onto there. Let's just distribute the rest of that, because we're not actually quite ready to eat that yet. So there we go, let's give it a go. The panna cotta is not, I wouldn't say, you know, set hard. Definitely getting gin through on this. Obviously the sugar, you know, the honey and the strawberries does tend to be a bit overpowering. Oops. Big lump of strawberry, they don't want to come on this cereal spin of it. But there you go. There is a panna cotta with gin and honey roasted strawberries.